Hey there folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into the story of a brand that's made a real mark on motorsport Alpine. Now if you're thinking, wait, wasn't that the name Renault just rebranded their F1 team too? You're absolutely right. But there's way more to Alpine than just that. This is a brand with a rich history, and I think you're going to enjoy getting to know it. So let's take it all the way back to the 1950s. Alpine wasn't always a big name in the racing world. In fact, it started off as a small car company founded by Jean Renault in 1954. Now, Renault wasn't just your average car enthusiast. He was a guy who loved racing, especially after World War II. He'd race Renault 4 CVs in events like the Mille Miglia and Coupe des Alpes. But those cars, well, let's just say they weren't exactly the fastest out there. So what did Renault do? He started modifying them, making them lighter, more agile and more competitive on the track. And with that, Alpine was born. Their first car, the A106, hit the scene in 1955. And while it wasn't an immediate superstar, it laid the foundation for what was to come. Now, let's fast forward to the late 1950s. Alpine started making some noise with the A108, and then in 1961 the legendary A110 was born. This car? Absolute game changer. It caught the eye of Renault, and soon enough, Renault was pouring their entire competition budget into Alpine's rallying efforts. And here's where things really take off. By the 1970s, the A110 was dominating the rally world. In 1973, Alpine won the first ever World Rally Championship with this car, racking up win after win. It was a golden era for the brand. But, as is often the case, success on the track didn't always translate to success in the showroom. The 1973 oil crisis hit Alpine hard, and by 1974, Renault had to step in and take over. The partnership with Renault brought new opportunities, though. Alpine wasn't just focused on rallying anymore, they had their sights set on Le Mans and even Formula One. In fact, Alpine built Formula 2 cars and did pretty well too, winning titles in the mid-1970s with drivers like Jean-Pierre Jabouille and René Arnoux. But despite all this racing success, the Alpine brand started to fade in the 1980s and 90s as Renault shifted its focus elsewhere. By 1995, Alpine was officially shelved. But as we know now, that wasn't the end of the story. Renault brought Alpine back in 2013, and after a few false starts, like the less than legendary A110-50 concept, they finally hit their stride again in 2017 with the release of a new A110. This modern Alpine has made waves, not just in car shows, but on the track as well, competing in events like the World Endurance Championship. And now here we are in the 2020s, with Alpine officially back in Formula One. It's like the brand has come full circle, back to where they always wanted to be. And with Renault backing them and Fernando Alonso behind the wheel, it's going to be really exciting to see what Alpine can achieve in the coming years. So, what do you think? Are we going to see some podium finishes from Alpine soon? Or maybe even a little bit more than that? Let me know down in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this deep dive into Alpine's history, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.